Hi guys, welcome to STTP, straight to the point. We're going to be working on a couple of diesel heater displays. What we're going to do is show you where the thermistor is located so we can remotely mount the thermistor to give you a more accurate room temperature. So we're doing the Chinese diesel heater displays, and what we want to do is remotely mount the thermistor that's inside these displays and then give us a better room or more accurate room temperature. So we've got these two displays that are here. Now I wanted to point out there's two different styles. Of course, there's several different styles, but on these two here, this one here, what I wanted to point out is if we look at this display, I'm looking for a thermistor and there's none located. Normally you'd find a hole or an opening or a little vent that's on these displays that'll give us ambient air temperature to reach a temperature sensor or a thermistor. This one here has got a barometer. And this little barometer here is for altitude compensation, and it's a BN203N. And what it has a built-in thermistor in there. So it's using communication to the chip in order to give it the altitude plus the temperature of the unit itself. Since it's encased inside this display, we're going to get a skewed temperature. So if you have this style of display, you have no vents or anything like that located on the display itself, more than most likely, that is what's happening with this unit itself. Now we have another style of display, and this one here, if we look at it, it actually has a little notch here. I've got it opened up already, so it has a little notch here, and that's pointing to our little thermistor that's here. Let me just pull that right out of there. So with this style of display, what I've got is we've got this little thermistor. I don't know if it'll pick it up on the GoPro or not, but you see this little thermistor right here. I'll bend it up. So what we'll do is we'll desolder this little thermistor. We'll run it through the hole that's already built in for the ambient temperature sense. And what we're going to do is going to remotely mount this little thermistor with some wire away from the display and more in the room, and give us an accurate room temperature opposed to what the temperature is inside the display. Of course, the electronics get hot, and that's what causes us a skew in our temperature. So what we'll do is we'll remove this temperature probe off the unit itself, and we're going to remote mount it. So just desolder it here. All right. I did a little bit of setup in regards to desoldering this. Instead of showing you the whole video of removing this little probe, you can actually see there's our little temperature sensor, and that's a thermistor we want to use. Not polarity sensitive, so all we have to do is attach it to two wires, remote mount it, attach two wires back onto here, and then we'll have our remote mounted temperature probe. Okay guys, now what we're going to do is just going to attach a wire. Let me just tin these wires up. Got a heat shrink on one leg. Again, these things are not polarity sensitive, so you don't have to worry about which is which. Just wanted to clean that up, but ended up disconnecting it. All right. So now we've got the it's soldered up. Very tiny sensor, very, very, very tiny. What we'll do is we'll bring this up. We'll take some heat shrink. We'll heat shrink that up. And we'll take a little bit bigger heat shrink, and we'll just encase the whole thing. We won't completely heat shrink it right up to the point of not being. Come on, girl. Okay. Again, not polarity sensitive, don't have to worry about that. Flip that around. And now we have our thermistor off to the side. There we go. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll bare these wires and tin them up and reattach them onto the board. Okay. Get that tinned up. Sensors reattached. Soldered back onto the board. Gotta clean up this display a little bit. And now we'll have our remotely mounted temperature probe. I'm going to reassemble this one display. These ones here are a little bit more in depth in order to disassemble, because what you have to remove is the front portion of the display. Here, let me just break this down. Okay, 1 second here. I just want to get this put together here. Okay, now our remote sensor coming out the vent hole that was originally in there. Now with these displays, what you have to do is you have to actually physically take this front cover off in order to get the screws apart in the unit itself. So here, I had this off, but I just put it on there so I wouldn't lose the adhesion of the cover. Oop. There we go. So when we remove this, we'll have our screw holes that we need to reinstall our screws, and then we're going to reassemble the display. Alright guys, we'll power this up and do a test on this unit. Here's some power. And so this is our temperature probe. In theory, I should be able to touch that, and we'll be able to watch our room temperature climb, which it is, just by me touching that little temperature probe. So now that we've removed the thermistor and mounted it remotely, now we can have a more accurate room temperature. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great day. If you like what you've seen today, like and subscribe, and more videos to come.